Hey everyone, welcome to POPXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the POPXP channel. Hey, what is going on, YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here now, Scott with the POPXP, and joining me as always on the crowdfunding comic series is Miss Kara Nicole. Kara, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you this evening, my good friend?
I'm doing great. It's been a while since we streamed together. Between cons and things and everyone traveling. Right. It's good. It's good to be back and have something to promote and look at, and something that goes with the theme of what October brings us, right?
I'm so excited about this. This is so cool.
I know, this is great. A friend of mine and Billy's, Stephanie, she actually is the one that kind of pulled this together and introduced me to the creator, one of the creators, I should say. And man, was I impressed when that sample came over, and I just went through with the different art styles, the storyline, the arc. I mean, it was just unbelievable, and I'm pretty happy to have them on. But before we dive into that, you yourself just wrapped up a very successful campaign over on Kickstarter last week. Yes. 50K, not too bad.
We are rolling over to Indiegogo though, so that link, that KaraNicole.club, is going to roll over to the IGG within the next day or so. So you can still get, it just means stretch goals will not continue, and you get a goodie pack of whatever is already stretch gold.
Awesome. And then what do you have after that campaign coming out?
After that, we're looking at either, well, we're still working on Fire Bitch 3, but Nixt and Cookie. And I don't know which one's going to come first. Nixt is supposed to come first. Nixt is my Cowgirl book, and Cookie is actually erotica it's an erotica cookbook.
Really? I was going to joke and be like, oh, it's a cookbook, but it is a cookbook. That's cool.
It is a cookbook. It's an erotica cookbook.
What is an erotica cookbook?
Well, you see, it's a comic. It's an adult comic with recipes.
Oh, interesting.
And it's the story of Cookie, and Cookie is a woman who does things with people and
cooks them food after. This is thanks for the time.
It's very cute. It's incredibly cute.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to that. That's a new concept.
You were just at New York Comic Con.
I was just at New York Comic Con, and it was great. I got to network with some of my favorite creators. I have some new partnerships in the work. We're going to see a lot of new content on the channel. So I'm very proud of that. And I just announced we're now officially the exclusive streaming network for Roy Thomas, who, you know, for those that don't know, is a successor to Stan Lee, created Wolverine, you know, was one of the creators of Wolverine and, you know, 30 other well-known characters out there, among with some of the best stories ever. So it's really cool now that he's part of the team, along with John Cimino and Steve Houston of Torpedo Comics. So it's really cool. So, but speaking of cool stuff, I mean, we got to dive into it, right? Let's show the people out there this awesome campaign, this awesome book that only has 3 days to go. So if you're gonna want it, you better jump on the wagon, people. So first and foremost, I'm gonna bring in the first guest, Mr. Jon Santana. John, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good now. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the POPXP. Welcome to Crowdfunding Comics, because you are now on the Creator Power Hour, and this is your platform, my friend. So very happy to have you on. Again, as you probably heard us talk about, I mean, this book looks amazing.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. It's been a labor of love with me and my co-creators. We've been trying to find a way to bring it into comics for a while, and we sort of kind of figured out how we're going to do it with a horror anthology series.
Fantastic. And not only are you joining us tonight, but you've got part of the team here tonight. So if you want to introduce your team, we'll start bringing them on.
Sure. Let's start with my co-creator, Mina Elwell.
All right. Mina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm always excited when women are a part of the process. It's like, yay, my wife.
I know, it's really nice, right? Still got a couple of us.
And who else do we have joining us, John?
We've got interior artist and cover artist of this lady right here, Damien Torres.
Damien, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having all of us here.
So you're the one that's crafting the images. Some
yeah,
of the
well,
images, right?
for one story in particular, Successor by Blood, which is like the origin for the Blood Queen that you see on the cover and the banner that's behind Jon there. It was fun design to work with. I think it was Jomar who did the actual design there, right, Jon?
Yeah, Jomar Bulda created the design for the Blood Queen, and he nailed it. He really did, and you were able to just capture it perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if I was in a comic shop and I saw that sitting on the shelf, I would grab it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's very indicative of anything mainstream.
Yes. And I mean, just the fact that you look at that and you're like, what is this? This like sexy, like demon looking, death mistress of some kind. Just
we're hoping for. And then when you learn the little
details grab it.
about her, I mean, when you look at her, it looks like she's got this crown and it looks like she might have these teeth. That's ice. So this is a red blood queen that loves to be in the north, loves to be in the frozen tundra because she's like a bloodbender, right? She'll pull blood out of her victims, create creatures, and then if they're frozen, they can be a lot more dangerous.
Oh, wow.
So
does anyone else find that sexy? I think it's super sexy.
I hope so. I hope it's sexy in a twisted way. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, I was gonna say sexy in a morbid way, maybe, right?
Yeah.
No, but that's cool. So we're talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mina.
Oh no.
So we're talking about the Haunted Box, right? And this is a horror comic theme. But I want to ask you guys something. You're doing a horror genre book, right? But let me ask you: do you believe in real ghosts? Do you believe in real demons? Does that stuff actually intrigue you, or is it all farce and you just prefer to make up your own stories about it?
I'll let Mina take this one first.
Oh, I was gonna say Jon should go because I feel like we've had ghost conversations.
Yeah.
I feel like if there are people who are sensitive, who are like more in tune with ghosts, I'm the opposite. Like I think, like I don't believe in ghosts, but if they were real, they could be sitting next to me singing a little song and haunting me, and I would have.
Oh, we lost you. I think you went.
Her audio kicked out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Mina,
her
are you there?
audio's in and out.
Am I here? Maybe.
Yeah.
There you
Oh, good. Cool. How much did you get?
go. The part where you said that if they have the sensitivity, you're the opposite, and then your audio cut out.
Well, that's the ghosts trying to alert me that I should.
It is.
They're watching you. They're watching
I'm just
you.
not. I'm like a very skeptical person, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even if they were around, I would probably be disconnected. I wouldn't be paying enough attention to them. I'd be in my own world.
Yeah. Jon, since she was going to pick you, I got to know where you're coming from with this.
Well, I grew up in a very religious household. So as a child, I was very, very fearful, believed in ghosts and demons and everything. And now that I have no fear of ghosts or demons, but I'm dialed into why, especially people who are ultra religious. I like to lean on people's beliefs, and that's exactly what I go for. And we were talking about earlier before we were on live. We ran a sort of haunted house last year inside of an actual abandoned prison where people really believe there's ghosts. There's been ghost hunters in there, with all their equipment. And boy, did we take advantage of that. I mean, I love finding what people are scared of, learning what they're scared of, and then just playing on it. And that's why I love horror.
Which one was it? Which prison was it?
It's in Warwick, New York.
I think it's called Mid-Orange, or it was.
Mid-Orange Correctional Facility.
It's a great space.
Yes, it's
I can see why it's impacting people that way. The top floor is a chapel. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, I've done that myself. I actually went to the Rawlins State Prison in Wyoming, and they filmed a movie there, and they went through all of the years and generations. You saw how parts of the prison changed, weird stories. If you ever have an opportunity to explore one of these prisons, absolutely do it. It's incredible. I agree with you guys 100%.
Would love to.
Yeah, I've toured.
What about you?
What's up?
I'm interested in what you think about ghosts and demons.
So I probably should say that I do believe in them because I work on the Winchester Mystery House for Source Point Press. And for anyone who hasn't heard of the Winchester Mystery House, it is a real house. That they said there's been hauntings for hundreds of years, since like the 1800s. And I don't really believe in it myself, but the writer that I work with, Josh Warner, he's been to the house, and he told me his experience there. He saw some weird stuff, like he would see chairs that would just like randomly move, even though like there was no air coming in, or no one like physically pushed the chairs or things like that. And you know, he would just see like these flashes or like these weird visual things happening at the house. And a lot of the stuff that he saw and a lot of the stories that we've heard about, we work it into the comic as well. So personally, as an artist and as a visual person, I think they're great stories to work from. But I can't say that I believed it myself. I've never experienced anything that's like out there like that. So, but they're fun to read up on, fun to try and illustrate.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, my fans out there, everyone knows that watches this channel that I'm a huge believer. You know, I've done ghost hunting. I've had crazy experiences personally growing up and other things that for me, it's no question. There's no explanation for these things, especially when you're alone and there's a ball of light hovering in the room, and you know, it's lighting up your feet on your bed and then it just goes away. You know, yeah, that's or awesome. They jump on you and attack you. It's I think things are out. I think it's cool, and I love that stuff. And you know, I love horror. I love all that stuff. So whether it's real, fictional, I love it all. So what I'd love to do is I'm gonna pop up the campaign now.
Sure.
We're gonna take a look at it. So right now, you guys are on Kickstarter. You are funded. You're at 137 backers. You have 3 days to go. So anyone out there that's watching this live or recorded, this ends in 3 days. So that means that you have until Sunday, October 23rd by 3 p.m. to back this campaign. And I think you should, because when we go through this, you're going to see how beautiful this book is and how incredible the whole package that they're putting together. It's unbelievable. The first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and we're going to play the campaign video for everyone, and then we'll dive in deeper.
My name is Mina Elwell. I'm a writer and one of the co-creators of The Haunted Box.
Hi there, my name is AC Medina. I am a comic books writer. I have been working in comics for 6 years.
Hi, I'm Jon Santana. I'm the writer and creator of comic series Jaded and Everhounds, and now I'm a co-creator on the new horror anthology series, The Haunted Box.
The Haunted Box goes back to a very classic form of horror, which is be careful what you wish for. Our characters all receive a mysterious package that has the answer to their big problem inside, whether they know it or not yet.
And it promises you the world, your deepest desires. In exchange, you give it one life. The box wants blood.
It is the embodiment of whatever it is that scares us, that scares our subconscious, that scares us without us even knowing. I feel like the Haunted Box is universal in that way for horror fans and for fans of fear.
The story that I wrote for the Haunted Box anthology is about a woman and her deeply beloved boyfriend who move into a new house together only to discover that it has been infested by teeth. It's delightfully illustrated by Bova and partially inspired by the absolutely staggering amount of human teeth that I found in my bedroom once and still don't have an explanation for.
There's so many different ways you can go with it, especially in short, self-contained stories. I also love the idea that we can connect some of those stories throughout time, and we have characters that can, you know, whether they're the bad guys, that the messenger of the box, or whether the protagonists who have to decide whether or not they're actually going to use the contents of the box. So many different ways it can go. A lot of fun is to be had, and I can't wait to share with you the ideas that we've got.
Okay, we got to talk about these teeth, Mina. What is this about the teeth?
Okay, so when I first moved into the house that I live in now, I started noticing just like what I thought at first were like rocks from an aquarium, which you can see I'm well versed in, just wedged in between the floorboards. But when I started pulling them out with tweezers, they're teeth. Like they're very clearly human being teeth. Like I even was like, maybe they're a dog, but no, these are. I still have them. I didn't get rid of them because I was like, I don't know. I'm not a superstitious person, but I was like, it seems like a bad idea to throw away like teeth.
Let's see some of these teeth.
Let's see what I got here. I got a good number of them. They're little guys.
You can hear them jingling.
Yeah, I've got like a good selection of these little white ones, and then also like, what are these? Like just living with the teeth.
Oh wow!
But like, I found like a variety of small like teeth and bones. My assumption is the person who lived in this room before me was like a collector, but I have no evidence to the contrary.
Oh no! Who knows what they're collecting? Holy smokes, that's creepy. I love it.
I know what's so weird to me is that the teeth look like human size.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Like I've got a bird skull. I don't have any human teeth, or I didn't.
Now you do.
Now I do.
That's crazy. That's when I was watching the video, I was like, "What the heck?"
Right?
Oh my gosh! Like, I found all these teeth, an abundance of teeth.
Yeah.
The rest of her story is fictional, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But what a great inspiration, though, for a story.
Yes.
Fun.
That is so cool. So let's see. So here we go. So we're gonna dive into this. The Haunted Box #1. You've got milestone reward chart here. You got a bunch of stuff checked off. You've got the 8K goal here that's going to unlock a new story, which you're on the cusp of, which is fantastic. But let's go into the book. All right. What I'd love to do is first off the bat, we've got some great covers here that are again Damien, absolutely beautiful cover you did.
Thank you.
And what's really cool about this whole thing is it's the Haunted Box. And what do we have with this campaign? A box.
I love it so much.
I think that's a genius point to put in. I mean, how amazing for the marketing of it. Plus the fact that you can keep everything neatly in there, and put it on your shelf or wherever you display your books.
Well, that first came to me in I was at Con, and a retailer came up to me and said, "Oh, it's large format. A lot of customers don't like large format because they don't have boxes for it. They don't have bags and boards." And the light bulb went off. This is the Haunted Box. I got to give people a box. And maybe they don't have a comic box, but they'll have something to put on their shelf, and they can put issues of the Haunted Box right inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next level of it was, how do we make it unique? Well, that picture of the Blood Queen you see there, that's the actual issue #1 image. What you're seeing on the outside of the box is the die-cut shape of the outline of the Blood Queen that you'll slide issue #1 in, and it'll match right up with that to make it look unique and pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, each story is going to come in its own floppy?
Yes. No. Let me take that back. So it's an anthology series. Mm-hmm. So this is the Haunted Box #1 that we're launching for. So there's going to be 6 stories inside the first issue. And if we hit our $8,000 stretch goal, that'll be 7 stories because there'll be another 3-page story that we'll add to it. But we have different variant covers. That's what those other covers.
Okay, gotcha. That's awesome. You guys have the 3 foil stamp trading card set.
Yeah, that'll be in the collector's box.
And Successor of Blood, 1 of 100. What do we have here?
So that's an art plate. So that'll be signed by writer and artist. We're offering 3 with the collector's box, and we're offering it as an add-on as well. It's just like what they called book plates back in the day. I still make book plates, but this will be unique, limited to just 100 of them, and it'll be signed by the writer and artist of each of those.
Awesome. So we'll go in through the variant covers here. So we've got Damien Torres cover right here. Gorgeous. Ryan Brown. Now, what's represented here on this cover?
So that's the Blood Queen up in the snow, just where she loves to be in the frozen tundra, sort of leaning on a box after she's most likely murdered many people, just relaxing. basking in normal people in that outfit might be basking in the sun on the beach, but she's not normal.
She's digesting all that blood. Awesome. And then you got the red foil on black. That's awesome. Suede cover.
Yeah, so suede in quotes because it feels like suede. It's like a soft touch laminate.
Oh, nice.
We call it black suede.
Nice,
with
Jason.
red foil cover.
Awesome. And then you got the Jason Ulrich cover.
Yeah, actually, just got the colors for that in today. I can't wait to share that on the campaign.
Perfect. I was actually just asking that. Is this going to be a black and white? But no. All right, cool. That's going to be in color.
Colors, and then Steve just started working on this, what we call the Blood Queen strips. We know that on a Kickstarter, people like the cheesecake type cover. So I thought, well, how can I make cheesecake gross? So we got her, instead of stripping her her stockings off of her legs, she's peeling the flesh back down from her legs.
Oh my god!
Like the viscera.
That's nasty.
Like, you guys want cheesecake? How about this?
There you go.
Yeah, John, I don't know if you know this, but Steve and I both went to the Kubert School.
He told me that this weekend. I saw him this weekend. This is his
Yeah, because I know he
like,
lives up in the Dixie area too, right? Like the Hudson Valley area?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was cool to see that he was brought on board for this too.
Yeah, two from the Kubert School in the class apart. Very cool.
Hey, how did you like it? How did you like going to the Kubert School?
It was some of the best 3 years of my life. Like having Adam and Andy as teachers, and unfortunately, I never was able to have Joe as a teacher. He passed away right before my second year was about to start, but I did get a chance to meet him at least. And Joe Kubert was just a legendary artist.
Legend.
And yeah, to see him work and to see his pieces, and even like to the age, I think he passed the age around 84. Still so committed to the craft and producing phenomenal work. It was always inspirational. So yeah, I love my experiences there. I made great friends, lots of great teachers there, and that propelled me to further my growth within the comics industry. And I attribute everything I do now back to everything I learned with the school.
That's fantastic. Yeah, my buddy Anthony Marquez ended up. He's
the
owner of the school. Yeah.
Marquez is awesome.
Yeah, he's such a great dude. And Gianna, I funded these guys on Kickstarter. Super excited to get my goodies. Excellent.
Thanks, Gianna.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So now let's talk about the stories that are in this book. Okay, it's because first off, again, the art is impeccable. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, and it matches what you're doing. It gives you that creepy, eerie feeling.
Exactly. And I don't know if you meant to use those words, but those are the titles that inspired me. Creepy from Warren Comics, eerie from Warren Publishing, Vampirella, that stuff, and that's what I shared with Damien. And Damien, you actually poured through some of those old books and thought, how can I take my style and make it work for this?
Yeah, so I grew up a fan of that kind of stuff. My dad was a huge Frazetta fan, and that introduced me into all this kind of work. And Jose Gonzalez's work on Vampirella is some of my favorite stuff. So I did lots of research on what he did. I actually bought the artist edition for his Vampirella work, and that gave me some incredible inspiration and ideas to work from. So I looked up what the page scales were, how they did everything in magazine format, and also like how Gonzalez did his like line work and his pen work with the hatching, and it's like a very European style when it comes to the approach of the art, which you still see in a lot of European comics today. So I wanted to apply that, but still maintain my sense of style with the work too. So it was like a nice blending of both, like that old school way of comic making versus the modern day. Lots of learning for me, and I think it was a really great experiment that paid off. I really love working these pages, and seeing it in print it's really, really cool.
Yeah. So tell us, what are we looking at here? So this page is from which story?
That's from Successor by Blood. I wrote that one, and Damien, of course, did the art. So this is the origin of the Blood Queen, and it takes place in the 18th century. That's how old the Blood Queen is. And she meets this hag who's a vessel. So in our stories, a vessel is what we call like a demonic character that delivers the box delivers the choice. So the holder has the opportunity to open the box and use what's inside of it, with the understanding that if you use the gift that's inside the box, meaning if you use it to solve your big problem, to give you exactly what you need to make yourself successful, you owe the box a life. You have to give the box blood. So we're watching sort of for the first time in the series, someone make that deal, the part of the story where the vessel meets a prospective holder and has to make that decision. It's the offering.
Wow. Now, could you sacrifice you're muted, Kara. Could you sacrifice someone, or does it have to be your blood? Like,
oh no, you absolutely, you're encouraged to sacrifice someone. Sometimes the object inside the blood will inspire someone to use it to kill someone. Sometimes the object inside the box has nothing to do with the murder weapon. It just the holder wants it so bad that they'll go kill someone. And then there's repercussions if you don't kill someone as well.
I was about to ask that.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Kara.
Oh, I was just about to ask that, but I love how you call her this hag. Like, that is such a Kara thing to do. I would do that. I'd be like, yeah, this hag, you know. It's just kind of insulting, but I love it.
Yeah, she feels like she's of a certain station in life that she can talk to somebody that way.
She is though, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
and this is Mina's story. Mina, why don't you talk about this one?
Yeah, Mina.
Yes. Okay, so this is the story of a woman who is like very invested in her relationship. She's very excited about her new life moving into this house, only to find out that the house is infested with teeth, which is sort of like a growing problem in her life, which she had planned to make perfect. So when she gets the box is going to give her a kind of roundabout solution to that problem.
Okay.
And here you see
a disturbing solution, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the box may have a different idea of what her problem is.
Now, you were saying there's repercussions if you don't kill for the box.
Yes. There's a story that we don't have any art for in this Kickstarter showing yet that's being drawn right now, that explores a character who has lived many years under the curse for not fulfilling the box's wishes. And that person is just destined to live a cursed life that gets worse every single day. And that person decides that that's the road they're going to take, and we'll see how that culminates.
Oh, that's cool.
That sucks. I'm sorry for that person, but I also get it. Now, can I ask, do you know going into this that if you don't fulfill this, you're screwed?
You should. Yes, you absolutely. That's part of the deal. That's the way the deal works. And
so they're very forthcoming with the deal. They're very forthcoming in letting you know exactly what's up.
And each writer's going to handle that their own way. But yes, that's the intention. You may actually see, like in my story that we were just looking at, we see the actual dialogue between the vessel and the holder. Sometimes that part is skipped over for other stories because we want to get to the meat of the story. But
it also depends on what vessel's going to give you the box, like how they are about what you need.
Right. Our co-creator Alan Medina had a very different idea for his vessel, trying to trick people, where some of the other vessels are forthcoming on purpose. It all depends on the vessel.
Oh, I love that.
I love it.
I know it is, and it's like I get it because like we want to. I know there's certain things you just can't really give too much away, you know. Yeah. But it really does get your mind kind of moving because I'm just sitting here like, what the heck made someone even think of this, you know? and so now each story that's in there, right? How many pages for each story?
It varies from. We have one that's 2 pages. I can't even call it a story. It's more like an intro. But all the other real stories vary from 3 pages to the longest one we have in this issue is 13.
Okay.
So the average is about 9.
About 9. And actually, too, I just want to comment. I'm an artist, you know, I do illustration things, but I love this feel because I love charcoal work, right? I love working with charcoals and different leads and stuff like that. And this charcoal to me is just a way to just get such a haunting feel. You know, it's perfect for the mood of this, especially in black and white work. Now, I don't know if this was done traditionally or digitally because you can make it look that way digitally, but I just love the look of that because to me, if I had to draw that, I would definitely be using charcoal mediums and other things to create this.
This is Sean Bova, it's the first time I've worked with him, and he's so great. Like, right away, he got the vibe. He knew, like, this is dreamlike, this is ominous, this is something that's, like, really oppressive, and his work totally represents that.
Yeah, I can see that. I love that. Now let's talk about this page here.
So this is from the intro. This is the closest glimpse you're going to get of the builder, the mysterious builder of the box. Each box is crafted by this craftsman to be made specific for a victim, a holder, protagonist, however we want to look at it. And so the box is crafted, and the contents of the box are crafted by this man, and he hands it off to a vessel who will be the messenger of the box and deliver it to someone. But he lives in that house, and all he does is crank out these boxes to go all over the world and lure people.
So does he put the evil in the box, or does he just craft the box?
I can't give you all the
Okay.
Hold on, go back to that. I
Okay.
love this. If you notice, like, I really, really love this. You've got that, like, photorealistic charcoal combo with that one hint of red. Like, that's the only color on there. I appreciate that. Like, that is those tiny details that someone might not have noticed or even did, but you guys did it. And those are those little hints that kind of, like, suck you in just a little bit more, you know?
And I'm so glad we're going to be able to print that in. We'll be printing in full color, even though it's black and white.
You have to.
Black and white and blood. So there's
black and white and blood. Hey, what's black and white and red all over? Y'all look.
Yeah, that's actually the update. That's what we said on the update. What's black and white and red all over?
It's because I'm psychic.
And then we got a question here from Red Cup Review. Is the comic book to be a floppy or a trade paperback form?
Definitely a floppy at this time. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I know you mentioned this already. How many pages in total?
It's 40, and if we hit that stretch goal, it'll be at least 43. But they have to be even numbers, so it'll be 44.
All right.
They are going to be magazine format, though, too. So it's going to be slightly larger than your standard comic.
More like a European size?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like that. I love the European size books. All right, and now we've got Winter's Moon.
Yeah, that's me and Jomar Bulda. Jomar was my partner on Jaded, the series that we wrapped up. We kickstarted years ago. Went really well. Love that book, and I love his work. So once this gets the black and white and blood treatment, it's going to look even more gorgeous. This character is Ursa Hunter. She's going to be another character that has to decide whether or not to kill somebody, and she's going to be a reoccurring character. So right now, as far as my stories go, she's the only reoccurring character that I have that is not a demon. So we're going to get to follow her through the choices that she has to make to decide whether or not she's going to actually kill someone.
Oh, fantastic. All right. And now this page here, this is the cover, the original cover.
That's the second variant by Ryan Brown. He's done Murder Hobo, and he's done lots of awesome variant covers as well. There's Ryan.
There he is. Proud Papa with his paper right there. All right. And if you like these, you'll love the Haunted Box. Love that. Twilight Zone, Hellraiser, Tales from the Crypt, Creepy, Vampirella, Black Mirror, 100 Bullets. Awesome. Yeah. Now, where are you in as far as development of the book? When is your ETA on getting it into the hands of all your backers and future backers?
We're looking at February 23. That's a really good, realistic timeline. The one with the most amount of pages is Jomar Bulda. He's about 50% done right now, with a deadline of producing those pages by the end of November. So we've got a really realistic goal set. The only other stories that are still being drawn are 3 and 4 pages each. So we're more than halfway there already with the pages done.
Nice. Now, do you have original art tiers in the campaign?
Only that cover that we showed by Ryan Brown.
All right, awesome. Well, that's fantastic. And then Stephanie's in the chat. She says, isn't there a short story incentive for backers?
That is right. We are looking for people to try to submit their short stories, and there's a couple of options. If you are not a comics writer, but you love writing short stories, we will publish just like those old magazines. We'll publish little short stories with small illustrations. Looking for up to about 3 pages worth. I think it was 750 words. Or if you want to give a try at writing comics, we're looking at that too. So we'll take all submissions. It's only $20 as an add-on to submit your short story. We'll give you our little sort of story Bible of what we expect, and you take a crack at it, and you could get published in the second issue of Haunted Box.
Nice. So now all right. So now you just kind of answered the question I was about to ask. So we've got issue number 1 here. You're going to do a number 2. Now the stories that are in the first issue is each new issue going to be a lineup of new stories, or are you going to be continuing some of these stories throughout each issue that comes out?
The answer is yes. Both.
Okay. Both. Okay.
Both. New stories, and some will continue.
Okay, that's fantastic. That is really cool. I like that. Now, what I'd like to do too, since we talked about the campaign, we talked about some of the stories. What I actually want to know is, how did this team come about? How did Jon, Mina, Damien, and your other crew, how did you all get to know each other and decide to do this project?
Mina, go ahead.
Yeah, we started talking about this in a really different format to begin with, which I think we'll come back around to. But I had first started thinking about, have you ever seen those listings like on eBay for a doll that's haunted?
Yeah.
So we had started talking about because the reviews are always kind of like interesting to me, but it's often people being like, this doll wasn't haunted. And so we had started talking about what it would be like to send somebody something that would haunt their house. So we were talking about like a more interactive element, which I think we'll still come back around to, but we wanted to start by telling those stories.
All right, but how did you all like meet? Like how, Jon, how did you meet Mina? Like how did the team actually come to be?
Mina, it's been so long.
I think that you and I met Jon at a comic convention when I was first promoting Infernoct.
Okay.
Which is I have like a horror short series through Scout Comics. And
yes,
I think
I remember. Was it at the Gold's Gym Comic Con in Hudson Valley?
Yeah, it was really little. It was a little con. And I had my little like first 4 pages of the comic that I was showing around to people, and we just started talking about horror.
Yeah, and then Damien I met at another local little con, actually not too far from the one that you and I met at, Mina. And I just saw his work, and I was like, man, we got to work together.
That was like what, 2017 or 2018?
Maybe 2018.
Right? Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so like I know you've been following my stuff. We've been following each other for a while, and I think it's like out of the blue, you kind of just reached out to me when you had like more of this developed. I was able to take a look at what you had going on with the script and your ideas for it, and instantly, like I was saying before, this is stuff that I kind of grew up on. So when I heard the kind of vibe and style of the book, it instantly had my attention. I always wanted to do something like this, so this was my opportunity to finally get that chance, and I definitely jumped on board right away.
Yeah. So all the other artists and writers that are in this story, are they all creators that you guys have met, in person at other conventions and just vibed with, or did you, reach out to people online? How did that go about?
We were just talking about this offline. There's so much talent here locally in New York and the Hudson Valley area.
That's true.
That almost everybody we know personally because we've met them locally, with the exception of Jomar, who did the Winter's Moon that we were talking about before. He lives in the Philippines, and I know him from way back. We've been working together for a while, but I've met everybody else at conventions.
Oh, cool. And let me ask like a little bit of like your guys' origin stories. Normally I start off the show like that, but I didn't this time. But I'll start with you, Jon. When did you start getting into comics? When did you start making comics?
2011. I started the first issue of Jaded, sort of on a whim. I always wanted to make comics. I knew I was deploying. I was in the Army National Guard. I knew I was deploying, and I said, man, I want to try to get this done before the deployment, because who knows where my mindset will be when I get back. I don't know if I'll ever want to revisit this. So there's a very talented inker by the name of Alex Sakat, who was my best friend's brother, and we're trying to lure him back into inking. He had inked stuff for Marvel in the 90s. He had inked X-Force and everything, and he's from the Philippines. I had that Filipino connection because I knew this guy, Alex Sakat, who had inked for Marvel once. When I would reach out to people, I said, "This is my inker." If they were Filipino, they'd be like, "We know Boy Sakat. We know that guy with you." And just through the validity of knowing this one inker, that's how it started. And then I was able to reach out to one artist and the next artist, and they liked the concept of the Jaded story. When I came back from deployment, I wanted to get back on board. Started issue number 2 when I came back, and that's really how it started.
Awesome. Well, first, thank you for your service. And second, now, growing up, were you into comics, or was it something later in life that came to you?
So my uncle is really the one that inspired me to not just read, but curate a comic book collection. This man, since he was, I mean, he's in his 70s now, but since he was very young, I don't know if it was OCD or what, but he used to buy 2 copies of comics back in the 60s because he didn't want to touch one. And before they were bags and boards, he had a friend that worked in a dry cleaners. So shirt bags and shirt boards that you would, get from the dry cleaners, because back in the day, that's how they handed you a shirt. That's how he created bags and boards. He just would slide them in there. And he taught me all that stuff, and he would bring me shirt bags and shirt boards from the cleaners, show me how to do it, show me how to tape them. And when I turned 14 years old and moved upstate from the Bronx, I moved up to the Hudson Valley area. They opened up a comic shop called Dragon's Den. It was a week after my 14th birthday. Got my working papers, started working at the comic store. And that was
I didn't know you worked there.
Yeah, that was my first job.
So funny.
Does he still have his collection?
He talks. I hope. Well, he can see this. He'll love it. He talks about. He's been talking about selling it for 30 years. He doesn't want to sell it.
No one wants to sell that. When you're that passionate about something, I mean, you never want to get rid of it unless you have a fine. I've only ever sold something when I was like, oh no, you need something, especially when you're younger or something. You have some of those amazing things, but you got to adult for a little bit. That's when you let go. But if you don't have to let go, you don't let go. Keep it, right?
He's got everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Mina, tell us a bit about your origin story. I know you've published other books. I know that you have, your book through Scout and stuff, but a little bit of, when did you get into comics? When did you get into making comics?
I got into comics, through my dad. My dad was, I was really into creepy stuff as a kid, and I was kind of hitting a wall on the kind of horror YA that existed. And he was like, all right, I'm going to get you some Sandman. That's going to change your life. And it did, because it, really opened a door to other comics for me. I also write things that are prose, which is what I was doing more when I was younger. More short story, that kind of thing. And then in college, I met our other co-creator, AC Medina, who was working on a series called Elasticator. And he was like, what are you doing? Come do comics with me.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool. And Damien, I know you're not really into comics, but when when did you decide you want to make a career? No, man, were comics always a thing for you growing up and everything?
Growing up for me, it was mostly the cartoons. Growing up in the 90s, Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, Spider-Man, those were my introduction to all these characters. And I didn't start reading comics until one of my friends in 4th grade had a birthday party, and all the gift bags had a comic in there. So the comic I got was Guardians of the Galaxy 37.
Jim Valentino.
Yeah, and the cover has Dormammu holding an ancient Doctor Strange. He's dead at this point. Yeah. It's crazy stuff. And I was someone who already liked drawing, and I would take coloring books and draw the inside covers and try to recreate the pages that were in there. So when I started reading comics and getting more into it, that's when it hit me I could do this for a living. And from about 8th grade and onward, I started taking it more seriously. And that's what it was for me. It was the cartoons, that one Guardians comic, and trading cards too. I used to collect a lot of the Fleer, ironically, Kubert X-Men cards. And then I started putting 2 and together. The comics would have the ad for the Kubert School. So I knew after high school I wanted to go there. Eventually I did, and that was it from there.
Yeah, I always kicked myself because I never knew of the Kubert school, and from hearing when you graduated and stuff, I think we're similar in age. But if I knew that, man, right out of high school, I would have went. Instead I was, I did a bunch of other art courses and things, but and now, I remember before the pandemic, I was talking to Anthony and this and that, and I'm like, you guys should do an online program, and he was like talking about it. And I was like, because there's so many people out there that, even if it's just like a certificate course, they just want to learn how to do certain things. And the pandemic forced it. And now they have a great online course with great teachers and instructors. And, because the only thing they had besides that, I don't know if you probably know about it, but you had the Kubert books.
Yeah.
And there was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. And, you do the stuff and you could send it in for a critique. I don't know if Joe would do it or who would do it, but, it's cool.
Yeah, it was
now
a correspondence course. So, like, sometimes I know Joe used to do some of the reviews. I think Mike Chen did it too. And Fernando Ruiz, like, they would do a lot of the reviews for those. But yeah, like, ever since Anthony took over, the school has become modernized in so many significant ways. It's like you said, the online courses. I think they had like a Pixar thing going for a while too. It's lots of stuff where I'm like, I kind of wish I was still a student.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's like times like, man, I wish I could be younger and I could just go there, live in Jersey for a bit, and go to school and then pick back up. But now with the online stuff, there's things that I still want to perfect, and depending on who ends up being the instructor for that, I may sign up for it. It is incredible what they're doing. And again, this book you guys have done is really incredible. It's great, and there's not a lot of actually, Red Cup Review said it here. Horror comics are sorely lacking in today's market, and they are. They're out there. A lot of them are movie adaptations, or they're just not getting. They're not getting enough press. They're not getting enough. There's no vocal cord out there for it as much as it used to be. I mean, horror comics used to be all the rage. Obviously until the Comics Code Authority came into the play, but then they had a resurgence in the 70s. I just did a show with Roy Thomas that's going to premiere next week because we're talking about the Marvel monsters, because, DC had great hits with stuff. So Marvel had to jump into it. And, I think now's the time, especially with independent creating, that genre could get a huge boost, because that's, mainstream comics are cool. Mainstream comics are for whatever they are, but I really think indie is now going to be the way to go. But there's just more freedom there now, to do these things and to be as gory as you want without someone telling you can't do that, right? You can't have a house full of teeth, Mina. You can't do that. But you can on your own.
With independent comics, there's less pandering. I find that in mainstream, there is a lot of like, we got to make the fans happy, or people want this, so let's give it to them. And in indie books, it's like, this is y'all squanch. This is your feelings, your thoughts, what you love. And there will always be someone like you who will appreciate what you're putting out there. So you're not thinking about, what do the fans want? How do I do this? You're not looking at it from a marketing standpoint. You're looking at it from what you love and what you feel and how you want to represent your fandom.
I totally agree with that. I think everybody on this team feels that way. We're loving these stories. We're loving that we get to bring them out from the heart and whatever comes from inside. We're publishing it right now through Kickstarter for that purpose. Nobody's telling us what we can and can't do. Like you said, we're making it as gory as we want and challenging. I know at least Mina and myself in writing these. Our idea is to challenge readers. We want to ask these questions of people, like the best episodes of Twilight Zone, if we could ever come near that level, which I know we never will. But
whoa, no! You don't get to say that. You do not get to say that. No.
Well, I revere the Twilight Zone so much, but that's what we're shooting for. We want thought-provoking, challenging stories in horror format. Why not?
Yeah.
And horror is so personal.
It is.
What scares you is totally unique. You're never going to feel the exact, you might even have the same phobia, but why? It's such a personal
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. We talked about this and you said to share this. So when I was a kid, I actually have a scar right here. When I was a kid, about 11 years old, I had my face ripped open. My face ripped open, and it was horrible. And I had to go to the hospital, and I'd been gone to a little clinic or whatever, and they put a couple stitches in. They sent me to the hospital, and the hospital was like, no, her face is destroyed. And they cut me all open again, ripped me all open, 36 stitches. 36 in my head. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I was sleeping on the couch and I woke up to Hellraiser. And it was that scene where the guy takes those razor blades and he says, I'm going to show you my true face. Ah! And he rips his face open and peels it off. And I literally just hours before had that happen to me. It's horrifying. Your book scares the shit out of me and I love it, but it still scares me.
I actually just got a message from my buddy. Yeah, who left your TV on?
I don't know. Probably my parents. Like,
I just got a message from my buddy Andrew, he's probably working right now, but he just said he backed the campaign.
Awesome.
So it looks awesome. So that's awesome.
so good.
And before we get going, any other projects you guys working on outside of this, John?
It's Haunted Box for me right now for all into next year. I'm looking to keep pumping them out. A lot of ideas, all revolving around this story. These stories.
Fantastic. Mina?
I've been chipping away at a very spooky manuscript by myself in my room for too long. That takes up most of my writing time. I wish we had Alan here. He's got like a bunch of books coming out next year in the works.
Nice. Damien, anything else you're working on?
Quite a few things. I'm kind of booked up until the end of the year. Some of the stuff is NDA stuff, so I can't really talk about it just yet. But I do have work coming out in the Marvel Crisis Protocol tabletop game. I'm waiting on the script for issue 4 of Winchester Mystery House. I'm doing a cover for Red Sonja right now.
Awesome.
Yeah. And there's some other stuff, but I can't talk about it just yet.
Yeah, no worries. And now, for all the viewers that are watching this live, they're going to be watching this recorded. If they're into this, they're loving it. They want to keep following what you guys are doing. Where can they follow you? What are your social media handles, John?
You can find everything Haunted Box on Iron Age Comics on Instagram or Iron Age Comics on Facebook. Those are the best places to find all the updates you need on the Haunted Box and any comic stuff that I do.
All right, Mina?
Anything I'm on, it's just my name. I'm not the best. I don't keep up so much, but I'll share anything you might want to buy.
Awesome. And Damien?
So my handle is Damien Torres Art on both Twitter and Instagram. And you can find my Facebook, Damien Dimitri Torres.
All right. Awesome.
I just responded to your friend request, by the way.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Awesome. So everyone, if you get a chance, make sure to check out The Haunted Box #1, a horror comic anthology with locking slipcase. There's 3 days to go, so check it out. If you love it, back it, share it. Again, if the funds aren't there, we all get it. Times can be tough, but one thing you can always do is just share a campaign. Share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. If you're a fellow YouTuber and you think you have time maybe to get them on for an interview to talk about the book, to your channels as well. They just gave all their handles, so feel free to reach out. And good luck to you guys. This is awesome. I would tell you, consider rolling this over to Indiegogo so you can keep selling books while you're still making the book. Maybe you want to give that a thought. If you need
help with that, let me know.
Yeah, when you mentioned that earlier, it immediately perked my interest. So
yeah, and what's great about that is you're in demand on there, and while you're still making this book, you're still selling the book, which means you're gonna have to still promote, and that's all you can do. But I want to thank you, John, for coming on. Mina, Damien, it's such an honor, a pleasure to talk to you about this beautiful book that you guys have out, beautifully scary book. And I wish you all good luck with this campaign, your future campaigns, and stay in touch. If any of you have anything going on you want to promote, talk about, or if you see one of the promos and you're like, hey, I'd love to be on that stream, feel free to give me a message. If we have room, we'll send you an invite.
Thanks a lot, Niall. Thanks, Tara. Thanks for having us, guys.
All right. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you all next week. This is the last stream of the week, but we got some more great content coming up next week. And so everyone have a great day, night, wherever you are. And we will see you all on the next one. Have a good one, everybody.
Take care.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.